gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
And now, coming live from the Midwest Rex and Rod studio, it's the Outdoor Show with your hosts, Scott and Drew Biscobing, with our producer, Luke PBRM ASAP Ortman, and special in-studio guest from Buckstik, Jason Schroeder.
Right on.
I'm back.
Look who's back.
Don't know for how long.
Back again. Drew is back.
It's a little flat. We'll work on that.
Somebody will tell a friend. Somebody will tell somebody.
My
about
friend.
something.
My friend is here. That's the only friend I got.
Self-deprecation at its best.
That's right, folks. Well, before we get into anything, we just wanted to break down tonight's episode is brought to you by Stealth Strips. Stealth Outdoors. Stealth Strips are peel and stick silencing material that comes standard with an aggressive adhesive in a wide range of standard and custom sizes, used to wrap your hunting stands and gear. Stealth Strips not only eliminate metal-to-metal clank, but they also improve tree stand silencing and concealment. Hunters who use Stealth Strips love Stealth Strips. So what are you waiting for? Go to stealthoutdoors.com. That's right, folks, stealthoutdoors.com. Get on it.
Right on. We'll get to some of the, as you guys saw, we have other partners here on the show, but we'll get into those here in a little bit.
We don't want to drown you with all of our
right
off the bat.
Yeah, we want to.
I can't even see you.
We want to get right into it.
There we go.
I know. Well, how many episodes has it been now? It's been a few for you.
3 at least.
Yeah,
Feels like 3.
Welcome back in the saddle again.
Yeah, the saddle feels like it's a little bit more snug. I may have gotten a little bigger.
Well, it's good to be that time of year where we got to start shedding this hibernation weight. I know I packed in a couple this year for sure.
Is that what we're calling it?
A couple 2-tree hibernation weight.
Oh, jeez.
But, guys, we are joined here today by Jason Schroeder. For those of you guys that don't know Jason, you might be living under a rock a little bit anyways. Jason's kind of well-versed in the hunting industry, been involved with lots of companies.
He likes long walks on the beach.
He does.
Yes.
You hear that, ladies? But Jason it was actually one of our founding members of Midwest Rex and Rods Outdoors.
That's right.
And in fact, he's the one who said, hey, why don't you come join Midwest Rex and Rods Outdoors? And here we are 5 years later, and studio number 3, and here we are.
Studio number 3.
I think we're actually coming up right on that 5-year anniversary. Like, it might be this week. It might have been last week. I think it was kind of March, when we kind of fully pulled the trigger. Maybe I think it might have been slightly before that, but I think our first show is actually next week would be our anniversary episode. For the first ever Midwest Rex and Rods Outdoors.
I'll have to take your word for it. To be honest with you, I can't even believe that it's been 5 years.
I know.
That's what I was
When you do
thinking.
something that you love, right? It goes by so quickly. So
The time absolutely has flown by.
right.
Sad to say we're only where we're at right now in 5 years. But we've dealt with a lot of trials and tribulations over that 5 years, and I feel like, some folks would have said,
Yeah.
we're not going to do this anymore.
We're giving up.
And I feel like we've said that a couple times over the years.
Oh
but
God, yeah.
At the end of the day, we're like, no, we got too much time and effort invested in this.
You got to see it through.
And we enjoy it. It's not like, well, this is like a ton of work or anything. It's, it's a labor of love is what it is in my opinion. So I thank you, Jason, we were on the ice. We were actually ice fishing on Fox Lake, Wisconsin, me and Elijah.
And his dad.
Yep. And I think you should do this, like stop that other thing you're doing and stuff. And I said, well, if we can incorporate a show into it like this, I'd be down with doing something like that.
I do remember that being something that you were very keen on.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, because that was still like kind of, I wouldn't say the heyday of podcasting or doing live shows or anything like that, but it wasn't like it is now. I mean, now every ex-football player, basketball player, soccer player, baseball player out there, they've got their own show. Every celebrity's got a show. I mean, every former TV show that, everybody's doing a show. So.
And you guys are stuck with us.
Yeah. If you watch this, and we appreciate you. I mean, there's a reason why this is on a slant behind here, because it's, we are kind of the half-ass show, but we do our best here. And Jason, so you and I just spent all last weekend since last Thursday
At the Kalahari, yep.
At the Kalahari Resort in Wisconsin Dells for the open season Sportsman's Expo.
Yep.
And we were working for doing the Buckstik stand.
Yep.
And that's partly of what we're going to talk about today. And we're going to get into the Buckstik part a little bit, but I want to talk to Jason a little bit more because I think we'd just be really shortchanging ourselves and everybody else if we didn't talk to Jason a little bit about, some of his hunting and outdoor expeditions and exploits over the years.
Right.
Jason, you've been hunting all your life, right?
Correct.
I'm gonna ask questions as if I don't already know the answer.
Yeah, right.
You can do some of the same here, but anyways, Jason.
No, I was born and raised into hunting. Always started out as the dog for my grandpa.
Yeah.
He was more a waterfall hunter, and I didn't really get into waterfall as much. I really was more obsessed with deer and being at the sanctuary, seeing deer and all that. So I started bow hunting at 12 by myself because my dad didn't hunt. He was a workaholic, and my other brothers did their other thing. But, yeah, so I took on bow hunting at 12 by myself, and
just figured it out. And
yep,
And you've never
been
put
doing it
down.
ever since.
Yeah, you've never put it down. And
Shot my first buck my first year in the first hour, and
you're like,
I was hooked
this
for life.
is easy.
Yeah, it was a littler one than I normally would shoot, but it still happened.
right. Well, it's
I'll
an
never
evolution.
forget.
It's an evolution, right? I mean, we all start out somewhere.
Yep.
And that I remember my first archery buck in that, and
Yeah, it's amazing.
it's nothing. I mean, it's just this palmated, fork horn in that. But I was elated. You know what I mean? Like, I was, hey, I got one. I got a buck with the bow. Like,
Yeah, my first one was a 7-pointer, and I pretty much stuck it right to the tree at first.
Yeah.
So I was kind of freaked out because I was 12 years old in the woods by myself. Back then, you didn't have cell phones. So actually, I got on my dirt bike and drove all the way back to the house, got my brother. He didn't believe me. I actually shot one. He's out there with a brown jacket on. I'll never forget it. And I was like, man, you better hope nobody sees you as a deer out here. But
Right.
it was private
Stranger
property
things
and
have
stuff. But it was a good time. We and him struggled to get it in the trunk because I was only 12. He was like 16, I think, at that time. So it was a great time.
yeah, and that was just a few years ago for you because you're a very young man, Jason.
Yeah. Yeah.
Jason,
I've only been bow hunting for,
over 40 years.
oh, yeah. Okay. I didn't want to be reminded. I was going to say 25 plus.
Thanks, jackass.
Yeah, that's all right, though. That's all good.
And Jason and I have known each other for many, many years. We've known each other for over 25 years.
Yeah, for sure.
And that, and you're a local guy here. You're not anymore, and
Right.
You still got family here. Your daughter lives here and stuff, and that in this part of southeast Wisconsin. But you're southeast, but you're like right on the Illinois border now.
Correct.
In fact, you spent some time living in Illinois,
Yeah, but on the borderline.
on the borderline.
But I moved back on the Wisconsin side.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
you should
but
have
I
stayed on that side just to get the Illinois, the resident tag for Illinois.
Yeah, that's for
As opposed to
sure.
Vice versa, what you have to pay now for non-resident tags in
That's
Illinois.
kind of one thing that needs to be changed. Is
for
if,
sure.
If I had to pay $555, I think it is, to bow hunt on private property there, I feel, and when Illinois people come to Wisconsin, they should have to pay, the same.
Yeah, it should.
Right.
Be,
It should be equal.
Somewhat. We got to get a little bit closer on these, and
Yep.
and obviously there's reasons behind it. But yeah, that's obviously a topic of conversation all the time. Is like, why is this state so much versus this one? And now I get states where there's draw, but you can go over the counter in Illinois. You're just going to pay on the upper half of $1,000,
Right.
On that end,
Yeah.
But
I mean, it goes back into they say conservation, but you don't know.
Well, I don't know how much conservation
It's in Illinois, exactly.
And this is not a knock in Illinois, but they don't have the amount of public land and things like that we do here in Wisconsin.
Right.
Illinois is a great state in terms of whitetail deer hunting for sure.
Yeah, especially the southern end of it.
Exactly. Yeah.
More than my end where I live.
Right. Sure.
I mean, we get big bucks, but not like they do down south.
Yeah. So after that first one, I mean, it was just kind of plug and play after that for you. You just, it was kind of nonstop. At what point did you start getting into, say, I hate using this terminology, like the hunting industry,
Oh, yeah.
because like saying that, like, you're not a TV star. None of us are doing that. But I guess if we're, involved with other companies, and I guess that somewhat makes you, because it's a hunting industry, right?
Right.
It doesn't necessarily mean you're a social media star or a TV celebrity or anything like that. But at what point did you start getting involved with other companies and stuff?
I would have to say it was 2005. I met Tom from Dirt Nap,
Okay.
Broadheads, by the way, #1 broadhead.
Shameless plug right there.
But they are. My balls back me up on that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of folks out there, because this guy has been the biggest promoter for Dirt Nap.
All right, Hulk.
And that. And if you only kind of knew Jason a little bit and you just follow him, you'd think, this guy is Dirt Nap.
Right.
And that, I mean, Tom's an amazing guy, and that I've got to meet him before and stuff. It's a fantastic broadhead. But you've really been kind of the face of it in a lot of aspects on the social media side of things, You're constantly making posts and stuff.
Well, because if I believe in it.
What's his hat say right now?
Dale Jr. Dirt Nap.
Well, when you believe in a product, you stand behind it.
100%.
I'm going to promote it.
Yeah.
It's whether it's Tacticam or Buckstik or Burpaw or all of them companies that I,
Shameless
kind of
plugs.
talk about. I talk about, with so many I could go on.
Buckstick, Tacticam.
Speaking of shameless plugs,
Well, I just recently got on Badlands, and that was like one of my biggest. I've always wanted to be on there. Their clothing's amazing. I've had great success with it. So pretty
Another shameless plug, and with that being said, let's
yeah, we're going to hit another one of our
shameless plugs.
sponsors here. And again, is brought to you by Bucket Ready. Offers premium food plot seed for the best results when attracting wildlife to your property. Knowing what deer prefer, when they prefer it, and putting the best seed together for deer and your special hunting spot is what Bucket Ready Performance Food Plot Seed Mixtures is all about. BucketReady.com. You heard it here, folks. BucketReady.com. Get on it.
It's gonna be a get on it for everything. I mean, why not
Jump
get
up
on it?
on it.
Yeah, and that's another guy you got to meet, Scott.
Yep,
from
this
from
weekend.
Bucket Ready this weekend. He's a great guy.
Yep.
We actually kind of started our partnership a little bit last year, but right at that time, we were supposed to be putting in our fall food plots, and the tractor that my cousin Ben had broke down like the day before we were going to plant it. And we just, all means and everything kind of just kind of shut down in that. I was kind of like, yeah, I can't I don't feel
Right.
like I can actively do this product justice without getting the seed in the ground,
Yeah.
and doing it. So, but, planting season's coming up here quick, and we're going to be getting our...
Speaking of which, I got to talk to Ben. I need a little plot put in myself for the Falls Area Food Pantry.
Oh, well, there you go. Nice.
We're gonna put in a little vegetable garden and do a couple workshops. I think that'll be kind of neat.
Ben's tractor might be just a touch big for...
Oh no, it's gonna be like about 1,000 square feet. So
Okay.
figure if we can get it done quick, it's
Yeah.
not too much problem,
Sure,
for him
sure.
to get it down here.
I actually just got some seed from him to try out this year, so
Yeah.
we'll see how it goes.
Exactly. All right, so where do we leave off here? We were talking about
When
your
I
involvement
started.
with dirt nap and stuff, and things kind of progressed from there.
Yep.
You've had quite a bit of success in the whitetail woods.
Yes.
Your last 3 bucks, which are ones that actually we had posted as pictures,
Right.
as part of the promo and that. And those were all over bucksticks too, right?
Right. All 3 of them were
The
on the
bucks
buck
that you were getting, getting pictures
even
of coming
even
into
that
it.
bubble face one was coming at a buck stick
Yeah, what
every
was
day
up with that one?
and everything. He was infected, so he had to get taken out.
Yeah, you said because you just did a Euro with him.
Yep.
In that, which is, this is a buck, guys. This is a really pretty incredible buck. And then, but you said around his nasal cavity, it was actually through the bone.
All the way through, yeah.
That's
so every
insane.
time it was just draining down his throat. His whole neck was covered with
Yeah.
infection and stuff. So
What do you think? What do you think the cause of that was?
we're still not sure because Adam's son shot one during a youth hunt 2 years ago, and it's had the same thing in his throat. So we don't know what that quite is. I was going to have a good friend of mine, Jerome, look into it. He's a scientist in the deer world for many years. So.
Yeah, and that's another thing. You're really you've been connected in not just the hunting side, but you have a passion for whitetail deer
In all aspects.
in all aspects, as I think most of us do. Obviously there's this misconception a lot of times with hunters, right, that we're just ruthless, bloodthirsty killers. And that's by far not the case.
I hear that all the time.
We're infatuated. We love these animals. That's why, you're planting these food plots and that just to kill them. No, we want to, we want these animals to flourish. You're not doing land management and land improvement and that, even just for just the whitetails either. It's for all the wildlife.
Right.
Exactly.
We're planting stuff on our properties and that, wildflowers and that for the pollinators, milkweed for the monarchs.
So much of
sanctuary.
that gets lost in the translation of
Right.
what we actually do.
Right.
Because we're always labeled just as hunters.
Right.
So that's all we do is hunt. No, we're conservationists at the end of the day, right?
Correct. I work with deer farmers, deer ranchers, hunting ranches, all of them, and to me, it's just a passion for the deer itself.
Not only that, I don't know if you want to touch on all your years of working with Shalom and stuff like that too, the wildlife sanctuary and the wildlife zoo. That it is now. You spent years.
Way before that all became a
Right.
zoo, but then I went that for the last 8 years, been mentored by Brad at his deer facility, and that's where it's at. That's where I gained all my education was from him.
Sure.
In knowledge. He's the smartest guy in the industry, in my eyes. But
Understandable in that, and I wish I would have actually pulled some of those pictures up to show in that because you've been a part of vaccinating them. And when you want to touch on what kinds of things have you had hands on working with Brad, and maybe some of the big things that you've learned working on that deer farm with him.
Oh, God, I learned so many things. But my favorite thing that he taught me was fawning and vaccinating them. Or vaccinating all the deer, that stuff I like doing. Or when we go in to score them and I'm locked in them little corrals with them big giant bucks. And
Yeah.
they're sleeping, and you think, oh, they can wake up anytime. So
Right.
that to me is exciting.
Yeah.
But I liked every little aspect of it, from running them through the chutes, from scoring them, from just everything. I just love having hands on them big bucks.
Oh yeah, who
That's-
doesn't?
Yeah, I mean, he's taught me so much. It's just amazing. I could go on for days.
So when did you get hooked up with Brad then?
I met Brad 8 years ago
Okay.
at Deer Fest.
Okay.
Kind of weird how I met a lot of people in Deer Fest when I was in West Bend, you know, our hometown here.
Yep.
So that's where I met Tom. That's where it all started. But yeah, so I met him there, and he invited me up to the farm, and I was hooked ever since. I was spending every weekend there for a long time there, or every other weekend for sure.
Oh, that's
And I
pretty
kind of
awesome.
cut out the whole other world because I just wanted to learn as much as I could from him.
Yeah.
I mean, he's let me do it all at some point over that 8 years. So it's been an amazing ride with him.
Now that sort of knowledge that you gained there, how do you feel like that translated into your hunting?
It just gave me
Understanding the animals
it gave
better.
me more of a understanding and taught me more about how to let them go to grow.
Okay.
More or less, you know what I mean?
Maybe I should meet him.
Yeah. No, it's different. I hate saying that because a lot of people get mad about that, but to me, I'm totally against people shooting spikes. I would say it straight out. There's no reason to do it. It's just something
Hot topic. Hot topic button right there. That's
right. But so over the years, from all working on the farm or me out there hunting, it kind of let me more observe the whitetail other than shooting them all the time. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
Like every time I go up bow hunting, I could shoot a doe pretty much, but I don't. You know, it's just like that. But if I need meat and there's a little young deer there and a doe, I'm going to obviously shoot the doe.
Yeah.
So that's just what I learned from it all, is learning to pass it on so that the future keeps continuing.
Sure.
You know what I mean? When you take out a doe, you always remember you're taking out next year's population right
Next
away
year's fawn, yeah.
before it even gets a chance. So to me, that's one thing I really learned from it all. Is
Well, probably just overall a greater appreciation in general, you know,
Right.
for the animal.
for the animal.
When you
exactly.
when you're putting your hands on them while they're alive and not after they're, you put an arrow or a bullet through them,
Right.
is obviously different. But you've had some of that experience even prior to, working with Brad as well, though.
Right. I've always got to say I've been pretty lucky deer hunting, even in my younger days before social media was around. I always would go for the biggest buck on the properties. Before trail cameras, I was passing deer up already back then, so.
Yeah, well,
And it's just been a great ride for me.
yeah, for sure. Jason, I'm going to have you pull that mic in just a little bit closer there for you. Yeah.
So I mean, we know your love for whitetail hunting. That's not just the only thing that you hunt, though, right?
No,
So
I hunt everything.
I already know where this is going.
But
Come on, man,
anyways,
it's that time of year.
oh yeah. But no, I do stand behind the products that I promote. That's for sure. And the Buckstik is something that I've been with for 4 years now. I've met the creator. We never actually met in person, but we met he reached out to me and knew I was heavily into the deer, like research and all that. Mm-hmm. So I started testing the Buckstik at Shalom with Dave, who's another very smart deer guy, obviously. He runs a big zoo and all that, great guy.
Well, you brought it up.
And so, yeah, this was a great product right here. We actually use live, real glands.
Yeah, and I do want to get into that really shortly here, but I feel like once we get going on that, we're going to be rolling pretty quickly, and I definitely I'm going to cover the second half on that. But what I want to say is that with you, Jason, the companies that you've been involved with over the years, and that you were using these products actually even before you even got involved with. And I feel like that's something that I've always kind of been a big fan of, is like not just getting involved or in bed with somebody just because, but just because there's that chance to do so doesn't necessarily mean that that's the right path you should go down.
Exactly.
It's something
I
that
could have took on other companies and stuff, but I didn't like their product.
Right.
Or I tested against the product that I was using already. And, it didn't work out for me, so I always just stick with the top.
I mean, it's an integrity issue, right? At the end of the day, you don't want to be using a product or actively promoting something that you don't believe in.
And to that point, right, I don't think anybody's going to question Jason's integrity when it comes to the products that he stands behind.
Right.
Dirt Nap, obviously, right?
Correct.
Buckstik, obviously.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, the companies that you have been working with over the years are proven products.
Right.
I mean, sure, you can talk broadheads and that, and everybody's going to have their favorite in that. And it's not to say somebody wouldn't even want to use Dirt Nap, but if there's another product that they already like, another broadhead that they've had great success with, to go down that rabbit hole of broadheads is just, it's a tough thing. But if you believe in it and that's the product that you had success with in that,
Hey, I've driven 2 hours to challenge people against their broadheads, against Dirt Nap. and they're shooting Dirt Naps now. So
and I've killed plenty of bucks with Dirt Nap.
Right. So too. I hear it all the time. So and it's the same thing I hear about Tacticams or the Buckstik or Burpal or any product that I actually promote, I stand behind. Otherwise I wouldn't be promoting.
Right.
Or wasting my time doing shows for that product or anything like that, that.
But we see that in the industry where it's just at the end of the day, it's like, well, because this company is going to give me more money or.
See, I'm not about that.
You see it even on TV shows where like for years, so-and-so was promoting this boat company and then they flipped and that. And, in the commercials or in the ads or whatever, or in the show, they're not going to say it was because, this company gave me a better deal. Right. That would be refreshing.
Right, to be honest about it.
Because it's not like, I just tried my friend's blah, 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 and I decided I like it better. No, that's a bunch of crap.
Yeah.
Right.
That's BS. Like, you got offered a better deal. And, hey, that's the business, right? That's how business works. It's called business, not biz friends.
Exactly. And I'm a promotional marketer, so it runs in me, to be a salesman or whatever. But I'm only going to sell a product that I know that I use and work because I don't get paid to do that or talk about it. And I don't really care about the social media levels of it all. You know what I mean? I just use what I know is successful for me and my friends every season.
It's really hard to.
And I can personally say I've never went a season without filling all my tags since I was 12.
That's
so.
We've talked about that before.
Right.
Yeah. You've had.
So that is something to be proud of.
Absolutely, for sure.
So.
Yeah, I can't say that.
In my old age.
Luke, do we have any comments or anything? Or
2 questions. One from Elijah: when did the love of Mountain Dew start?
I knew he was going to ask that. Well, that started at about 16. I'd have to say maybe 15 during the skateboarding days.
Yeah, right.
And BMX bike riding days.
Mountain Dew and Colt.
Yeah.
Jolt Cola. I mean, that's when we were kids.
I was always Mountain Dew. I am weaning myself off, Elijah. Don't worry.
He's actually weaned himself down quite a bit
right.
in the last couple of years, but I made sure we had some in the refrigerator here.
Yes, he did. He corrupted me. I was going to try to go all week with it.
Look what I got. What else do we got, Luke?
Nick Munding. It's not about the money. It's always about the integrity of the company and the products in use.
Absolutely,
you know it, buddy. You know it.
Right.
Even Nick, I had to convince him with the Buckstik. He thought it was just another gimmick out there, and And he can tell a story himself someday. We didn't even get back to the truck, and there was deer already hitting that buckstick on his property, which is just in a neighborhood, pretty wide open, and he was hooked ever since. And I hear that so much from so many guys, especially like the big Galena hunters and stuff down in Illinois. I mean, just a feedback. So for me and him to do the shows and stuff, only shows where, truly stand behind that product.
We got to get him back on the show.
Who's that, Nick?
Nick. Yeah. I think we got to make that happen. What do you say, Nick? Let us know. Shoot us a message.
He was going to come up, but he had to work late.
Oh,
Next time. Yeah, work.
We'll get Monday Outdoors back on here for sure. And Nick was there this weekend with us too.
Sold out 2 shows in a row.
Yeah.
By the second day, each show.
I mean, we were scrambling for product. Had to call a local distributor of the product and be like,
Stuart,
bring all the product you have and that to the show.
It's a good problem to have.
And he only had 7 sticks at his
cow.
store. So we were like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And we had people lined up against the wall waiting for him to show up. It was kind of amazing that he actually drove up.
That is cool.
It was very, very cool. But
his bait store and sports shop's on the way up on Highway 33 from here to the Dells. You go way past it.
Well, I think I want to get into the buckstick side of this thing.
Yep, absolutely.
And I know that we're going to really get into the roots and do a little bit of educating, both in terms of the product itself, but also how the product will benefit you should you choose to start using it. And by the end, without us even telling you should, I think you're going to want to, because I can't tell you the amount of people that at that show in the Dells this weekend that just kind of glanced over and you just grab them and be like, have you heard of this product before? No, or maybe, or they're like, I get the concept, right? It's kind of, you heard once in a while. Well, let me tell you what it's really all about. Right. And it was at that point, then they're like, okay. And then next thing you know, the credit card comes out or the wallet's opening up and we were just selling like crazy.
I think more or less for me, it was the people that were giving me 100% feedback, the ones that already had them.
Used it.
Or during the show, people were saying, oh, I got home from the show and I set it up in my backyard and I had deer already hitting it in that same night.
Right.
Of the show.
That's wild.
So that to me, hearing all the positive feedback over the last 2 years before I even brought it to Wisconsin to a show,
right,
it's just been amazing to me. Just like how many guys wanted to tell us their story instead of letting me tell my sales pitch.
We had other guys basically to sell
pitching it for
us.
you.
Yeah, just telling their stories.
They just wanted to come and say hi, share pictures, tell stories to us. And while other guys are there, they're like, no, we got 8 of these on our properties, or I got 2 of these, and they're pulling, that's how it is. Everybody's got their phone. Everybody wants to show their pictures of the buck they killed or their trail camera pictures, things like that. But they're all like, look at the pictures.
What better way to make a sale?
And these guys aren't involved in buckstick at all, other than they were just
in the crowd, and I'd even ever met them in my life. So that was really amazing for me and the owner, Jim, and his wife,
Really validates the product.
Right, right. Yeah. Because the original creator, he passed away. So his daughter and son-in-law took over the business, and I helped them continue this great product. I said it's just too good of a product to just let go away,
Yep.
And we had a couple...
for it to end up in the wrong hands.
Right, and we had a couple people who tried to copy, but we got that taken care of so very quickly. Jim has all the rights and patents and all that, so it's a legit product.
Well, why don't we stop there?
Yeah, we're going to take a quick intermission, and during our intermission, guys, I encourage you to go ahead and grab yourself another cocktail or another beer. But we're only going to be gone for about 5-6 minutes here. But while our intermission is going, you're going to be able to watch some a promo video for Buckstick So you guys are going to kind of get a little bit of an idea of what Buckstik is about, just based on the evidence that you see in these videos. It's going to be a lot of trail camera pictures and videos and stuff like that. And then we'll come back and we'll really get into the meat potatoes of what this product is. And,
Well, keep in mind, it is a 3-in-1 year-round deer communication system.
Right. So we'll
Hang
be right
tight.
back.
We'll be right back. We are back.
No.
Boy, that 5 minutes goes by really quick.
Really quick.
Real quick.
Try to get a restroom break in there, freshen a cocktail. Next thing you know.
Exactly.
You get to open a fresh can.
No, we encourage the can popping on the show. You'll hear Luke back there popping them all the time. But
that goes without saying.
All right, so thank you guys for sticking around with us and taking your bathroom breaks and getting your beverage. For the second half of the show here, we are going to get into Buckstik here. We kind of left off kind of talking about the show a little bit that we just did in Wisconsin Dells. This was the first show ever.
Real quick, we do have one more friend of the show that we're going to hit up here.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Right.
Let's do it.
So in addition, we also have Tagged and Bagged. That's right, folks. They specialize in pre-taxidermy packaging for waterfowl. Their mission is to provide hunters with the highest quality packaging products to ensure preservation of a hunter's prize trophy. Tagged and bagged products are made with the best materials and are designed to withstand the toughest hunting conditions. Pre-taxidermy packaging is used to preserve your waterfowl before sending it to the taxidermist. At just $20, and that includes shipping, $20 includes shipping, you receive all of the pre-taxidermy packaging that comes with easy-to-follow instructions. My tongue is tied. That will preserve your waterfowl for the taxidermist. Go to taggedandbag.net. That's right, folks. Taggedandbag.net for all of your pre-taxidermy preservation needs. Get on it.
Get on it. We might have to just get rid of Always Outdoors and just
get on it.
It'll just be get on it.
Just get on it.
Get down on
He
it.
likes it. He likes it.
I don't know what I'm doing anymore.
No, none of us do. But we're here.
Well, I'm blinded by that damn hot light.
That hot light, I know. It is warm in here tonight for some reason. I don't know, but Jason's over here and he's got a coat on and that. But
I think it's perfect in here. I don't know. I think you're just nervous or
beautiful
something.
77
Hey, that's from
degrees
you
in
running up and down them steps, probably.
yeah, probably.
But anyways, yeah.
We were talking about Buckstik and about the show that we just did in Wisconsin Dells, and I'm telling you, that place was packed on Saturday, especially.
Yeah, people are getting lifted right
To the point
past.
where it was almost too busy at times, where like people felt like they couldn't stop at a booth because they were just kind of being herded down the aisles.
Right.
Like
Yeah, it was packed.
But we had a nice corner spot, which helped because being on the corner, then we had a bunch of space off to our left, like if we're in a booth off to our left, and where people could see the videos that we just had up and stuff.
Was that in the Africa room?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So now and that's a big room. How many vendors were there? Like how many booths?
I couldn't even tell you, honestly.
Yeah, we were
I mean,
1023.
because there was the other two rooms back there too that were completely filled. It's a big
Holy
show.
cow.
Open season's a really fantastic show. I mean, this is kind of what replaced the old
Madison.
the show in Madison, the Wisconsin Deer and Turkey Expo. And I don't know if it evolved or if it's just a completely separate entity altogether, but because it was always the same weekend. And that was always a big show too. But I feel like it's almost expanded even more.
Yeah, a little bit.
And it's a phenomenal show. It brings in a lot of people. People like coming to the Dells. It's a great time. It's usually spring break and that, so you can kind of incorporate some time with your family in the Dells as well. So if you guys haven't been to this one at the Kalahari in Wisconsin Dells, I would definitely check it out next year for sure.
Yep.
I mean, and I don't want to deter anybody for saying how busy it was, because it was just like at a peak time, that it was that bad. If you got there a little bit later in that afternoon, that show goes till like 7:00. So if you would have got there like 3:00, it kind of got to be a little bit more normal. Friday was pretty busy, but nothing outrageous like it was at the peak on Saturday. Because you get a lot of people getting there right away in the morning and stuff. So
We literally almost sold out the first night, which is only like 5 hours long the first night.
Right. It's not a full day versus Saturday is bright and early till late at night. Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty amazing.
I mean, that really speaks to the quality of the product.
It
Which
does.
we have right here.
And you do, in hand.
So we got that one hanging up over there.
So we got the buck branch over here.
That's our buck branch, and that's our buck stick, and then we have the buck vine, which is our newest product. Scott can hold it up for you. That's our newest product for this year, and I've been testing it, and I actually shot bubble face off it. So it works. Our product's made to work year-round. Deer communicate with each other year-round, and most products out there are synthetic mixed chemical,
Yeah.
and they are only designed as a curiosity product, not more like how our true gland product works. It's a whole different system. Like if you notice, them products are used only during the rut systems, So that just tells you it's more of a curiosity than a year-round product. Plus, it's synthetically mixed, where our product is we are the only company out there that uses pure glands, the three main glands, the preorbital, forehead, and interdigital.
Basically, the 3 year-round communication.
Right,
sense.
out of the 8 glands.
There's 8. I believe there's a total of 8 total glands. Where, a lot of guys think of the tarsal gland on the back of the legs where deer are urinating on it. You get a rutted up buck and it's all brown right there and just stinky and musty smelling that. Yeah, that's a communication scent too, but that's not a year-round communication scent. Whereas preorbital, forehead, and interdigital is a year-round. I feel like most hunters know, but I'm always surprised when I hear ones that don't know this, and there's nothing wrong with that, right? That scrapes are not something that is just an October, November type rut thing.
Correct.
Scrapes, yes, sure. Do bucks make more scrapes during that time of year? Do you see more scrapes opening up? But I mean, if you spend enough time out in their woods, you'll see active scrapes all year round. Is there as many? No, not as many as during, that pre-rut period there, however you want to call it. But it's how they communicate. And it's not just bucks using it. It's does and it's fawns. Mm-hmm. And Luke, if you want to start, maybe even just go ahead and scrolling through some of those pictures and stuff. I mean, you'll see right there, right off the top there, we got a fawn checking it out, and that's on the rut.
Actually, we get a lot of photos of the mothers actually teaching their fawns over the last 4 years. Tons of videos, tons of pictures sent to me all the time of how you can actually see the mother teaching their fawns, the glands. That's why we get a lot of pictures of the fawns on their hind legs trying to get their... there should be one right there, actually. The yearlings, but actually you'll see fawns do that too because they want to get their glands on that top up there. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean it's a communication system, and it's something that they're using throughout the entire year. So let's just quick backtrack just a little bit to what we were talking about a little bit. So Buckstik was established or invented or whatever in 2018, right?
That is correct.
And that was the
original creator.
That was the original Chris.
Yeah.
Yeah, who, rest in peace, passed away.
Yep.
What year was that? Was that in 2020 or 2019?
2021.
Or 2021?
Yeah, I do.
I suppose, yeah. That would be.
It's already 24.
24, yeah.
Don't quote me on that, though.
Sure.
To me, my time goes so fast, I don't keep track of that.
And the original Buckstik was a little bit different. I mean, It's evolved.
Oh, yeah, we evolved it a lot from Chris's original one, for sure. A lot of testing, a lot of research on what was working the best. And now we just came out with the complete system.
Well, Drew, why don't you just bring that a little bit closer over here?
I actually get excited when I see it because I see how much action I get on it daily.
Yeah. Right.
And
there's more to it that they're not even seeing or can see.
Right. You can pull that out.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Can you pull it? Just step on that base. Really
There's a little strength. There you go.
So we just have it in a little base stand there. That's not what comes in. This would go into the ground. here.
Right.
There's-
You'd step that into the
step this
ground.
down into the ground right here.
And you would always be wearing surgical gloves or rubber gloves
Yep.
when handling it.
Right. But this
And
is
you only
this way.
handle it one time, obviously, when you're pulling it out of the package, unless you want to move
Unless
it.
you wanted to move it, of course.
Right.
Sure.
Which is a good trick I've learned is I can leave it on one property for a whole year, let that group of deer just constantly get all their glands all over it and move it to another property. And it's just insane.
Right, because now they're like, well,
Yeah,
who are
it's-
these new deer on this property over here?
That's a great point.
So the original one had, all right, so what we're looking at here, for those of you guys, I mean, you're kind of, I'm trying to show it to you guys the best we can.
The buckstick is designed at the perfect height of which the deer require to get their glands on. So when you stick it into the ground, it's almost at chin level to them. So they're able to wipe all their glands on there. If you watch some of the videos we have, you'll see them working it, which that's where you'll start with the preorbital gland.
So we have, what we're looking at here, guys, is, I mean, these are plastic leaves, right?
Right. They're just,
The leaves are inconsequential.
Exactly.
they do collect glands though.
Okay.
Sure.
They
they
do.
will.
Sure, right.
As you see, they're always wiping all their glands on that. They love doing that.
But what's
And then there's a series of hanging rope and vine, and that comes down.
And we use that to put the preorbital on. Therefore, they're not the young ones that can't reach the top yet. We found out like to grab onto the leaves to try to pull it down.
okay.
As you see our one video, they'll pull it down to the ground, but it always comes right back up.
in the preorbital? That is
Yeah, it comes in this. It's drawn from deer on a private deer farm.
okay. So it's
And-
non-synthetic. I mean,
No,
this
there's
is-
no synthetic product whatsoever in any of our stuff. No chemicals whatsoever.
Gotta love that.
Right. That's why our product works year round and
legit.
has been as successful as it has been.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's what really sets it apart from
Right.
some of the other products out there. I mean, you can throw, a rubber vine or even a real vine up in a tree and stuff, but that stuff, like let's say you use real vine,
Right.
that you find out there. Well, that breaks down for one and won't last as long,
Mm-hmm.
and two, it does not collect the same amount of scent as this will. And you'll say, well, how can that be? Well, these ropes and the forehead and that, it's designed really to help collect a lot of that DNA and that dander and everything that goes. So when you think about a deer or a dog, for example, the dander that a pet has. Well, that's all has that gland scent on
Sure.
it from the forehead and that's going to get
eyelids.
interwoven into this forehead section right here. Now, the original inception of Buckstick had like a mesh.
yeah, we started with the mesh and it did work. It was
Right.
collecting data for us, collecting the DNA off the hair samples and collecting the forehead and eye glands. But we found out using this method was a little bit better, collected more, held on to more, it started bearing.
More durable, too.
Right. And, with the velvet season, it was actually bearing that in. So you could pull DNA from it and stuff like that or whatever you needed to, like hair, especially the hair samples, which by that collecting from every deer is bringing every other deer in because they want,
Right.
they want to make sure their glands are on it. Like I said, we tested. A guy wanted me to test it in an open field next to a freeway and no woods for we estimated about 2 miles, and he said there's no deer back
You were
there.
just showing me pictures.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not
It's
even
crazy.
And in 2 weeks, we had 21 different bucks. Well, a couple does, but mainly all bucks come and rub on that thing, horns and without horns.
Yeah, that's wild.
So this one actually, yeah, there was a photo in there where there's a lot of them I have where they bend it down to the ground, it flips
Yeah,
up,
and
hits
if
another
anybody saw the
deer.
video on that with the buck branch there, that buck's got that thing down to
yeah.
the ground, and
Yeah.
so this is something that's going to be really durable as well. So just to backtrack real quick to the original inception of the original Buckstick, which I got 2 out on the property to this day.
Right. I
Still
still
out
got my originals are still out being used every day.
I'll tell you this. You're on my cord here.
Oops, sorry.
was like, what? My head's popping. The original ones also had the leaves. Now these ones actually look better for one.
Yeah, we went with a more durable, more, we had to test all that. Everything was in
Exactly,
testing
'cause that
before I
was
even brought it to
right.
the table.
That was right. Yeah, you can keep that one up there, Luke, for a second. But now I tried tugging on these and yanking on them, and that at the show you can't. The other ones, you could pop some of them off, and I would find them laying out there and that. Regardless, I've got 2 of them out there that don't have any leaves on them anymore.
Right.
And it still
And
is
that-
just
And it's still
collecting.
they still get hit.
We do make new tops that you could change.
Right, which
Me and Nick tried the new tops on his, and they were hitting
Yeah.
it right as we left right away. But
I mean, it's going to take a lot.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean,
Checking this
yanking
out
on these
before
here.
the show.
now imagine that's been through the Ohio show that we sold out in and the Wisconsin
Right,
show.
with
Everybody pulling and tugging, and it still looks great.
Yeah, it does.
I mean, I've had some of mine out for 5 years now, just getting hammered on,
Yeah.
and like you said, even if they had the leaves, they're still hitting it.
Sure.
Because it's still covered in everything.
Right. I mean, because they're rubbing on it. It's a spot it's something that has all those years of scent from different bucks and does and fawns. I mean, I kind of equate this to, like, let's say it's 1985. What's your big communication system? Telephone, public phone, right? A telephone booth, right?
Yep.
This is what this is.
That's exactly
in
what
some
it's designed to do.
This is the deer all coming to it. Now, the way they're communicating is different. They're not talking, but they're all leaving their scent on that phone.
Right.
They're glands.
Right.
Yep.
They're that gland scent. So, let's talk real quick about how the application process goes. So we have preorbital forehead and interdigital gland, right?
That is correct.
Let's say, all right, let's just explain to you, Jason. I bought this stick, right? Tell me what I need to do. Here's the package, right?
Yep.
So this is what the package comes in.
So they're designed and put together with no human
First
scent.
off, what comes in here?
What comes in there would be the buck stick or buck branch or the buck vine, and it comes with a 3-pack starter kit, which is right here. You get 3 bottles right away included in the kit, which it'll last your lifetime pretty much. You only need to apply it one time, maybe once.
Really, Jason? I would think, don't I? I'm playing devil's advocate here, people. I just did. Trust me, Jim. I worked the show this week, and I know what I'm talking about. But
Yeah, he's in good training.
Jason, don't I need to just douse this thing so that they can smell it?
No, that's where the biggest mistake. This stuff is pure and so powerful. You would only put one little spray, and that's all I do. Like the smallest amount I can of each one, whether it's the forehead. And I taught everybody that
do
over
I
the
spray
show.
them all over?
No.
What order do I go in, Jason?
Well, you would first start out with the preorbital, which is the top level. And
That's
then
up
you would
here.
move to the forehead. Yes.
So you get this, right?
Yeah, I like to, with surgical gloves on or rubber gloves, I do that one squirt. One squirt
So
on
this
the
is how we
vine.
usually do it, right? We kind
Yep.
of clump these together and give it a squirt so that it
Yep.
gets 3, and then maybe one.
Yeah,
out
one
here.
there. And then with the forehead, I'll do one little spray on the top, one on the bottom, and
One
that's
here
it.
and
Yep.
one here. That's I know it's go back to main camera real quick here, just so I can kind of. I don't know how well anybody can really see this here, but what we have is basically intertwined rope right here that's stuck in place. Like they can't pull this out. It's
Right.
not going to slide down the pole. It's basically shrink wrapped on here with with rubber and that. So one up here and one down here.
Yep, and that's all you ever need.
Okay, and then what? Now then
And then you take your interdigital and you spray like just a couple sprays on the bottom.
I wouldn't do that.
No, everything is at precise levels.
Well, why wouldn't I put interdigital up there? What's the interdigital gland, Jason?
Well, that comes out of the hoof.
Oh, is that
So
that gland
they're-
right in between the hoof?
Right, so you definitely wouldn't want to put that up above there. But you could put a little forehead up there, wouldn't hurt.
Sure.
Because they're putting their forehead gland on there anyways. But
What?
the nice thing about it is,
So at the bottom here, there's actually a little
right,
sponge here towards the bottom in that.
and when I start out, I like to put like 2-3 sprays on the bottom, and that is it.
Yeah.
And after that,
almost more so on the ground, right?
right, that goes on the ground. You
Yeah.
want because that's where they'll start making their big ground sprays, peeing on it. And it's crazy once they start on it.
So yeah, all right. Going back, I'm gonna pull out of the devil's advocate here. Yeah, once this
He
is
did
in the
this
ground,
at the show to me a lot, by the way. And I won every argument, so I'm not worried about it.
No. So, and it would be much the same with the buck branch. So the buck
Right.
branch, it's kind of the same, but now you're attaching to the tree. Can you hand me that real quick? Or do you
Right,
wanna
which
hold that
then
up?
you can make a perfect angle.
So what we have here is this is what it would mount here. I'll let you hold this here for a second.
Got it.
And that, and this is works for both the vine or the branch here. And this screws in to the tree, and you set it at the height and the angle you want. This is heavy duty here. And you're going to kind of want to have this probably higher than this here, like you would any sort of vine or
Right,
licking type
right.
branch.
I put them at all different heights, and they hit it no matter what, so,
Sure.
and all the testing. But yes, I do like to put it at head level would be the best spot.
Does it say in the directions on what height you should put this at? Like the recommended height for both that, or is it kind of just a preference thing?
I think it's a preference thing. I'd have to recall and open one up.
But again, you're wanting to use gloves
Always use gloves.
in that. I mean, be a cent.
But there's times I didn't have my gloves, so I'll admit it, and they still come and hit it.
No, you're right.
But that's
Anything
because
to
they're
do
so
to try to minimize cross
right.
contaminating.
I never grab on to
Sure.
it, but there was a time where I wanted to test my little rubber thing there that you see on there, and I didn't
This?
have gloves along, but it didn't affect them. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and that just kind of helps keep it because it'll come up. It
Right.
pulls apart. You put that on, that helps kind of secure it. And
Right,
stuff.
right. Because sometimes the bigger bucks will lock their horns all inside it, and next thing you see it on the ground, but they still come and hit that bottom stick no matter what. It's kind of crazy. I have tons of videos and
I mean,
pictures
that
of them.
scent's going to kind of excrete down.
Right. They'll even hit it when it's laying on the ground.
Yep.
So to that point,
But I have mine in
this
the
is pretty
swamp.
light, right?
Yes.
It's very light.
Oh yeah, the whole kit is like this is
Very light.
2 pounds.
But
Guessing.
Yeah.
you're telling me that I can leave this out year round. I'm playing devil's advocate now. You're saying that I can leave this out year round
Yes.
for multiple seasons,
Yes.
and I'm not going to have an issue.
I haven't, in 5 years, Nick's had his, all of us, whether it's anybody on our staff has had them all
I
for
have the
years.
original ones.
And even Scott, your own brother here, I gave him one when we first developed it. Two of them, yeah, the cedar one and then the other one.
Yep.
And I actually gave Elijah one too, and because he was skeptical, and he had tons of bucks coming up to that thing.
I will fully admit here, like at that time, I'm like,
Right, same as everybody.
bullshit. Like, I'm sorry, like plastic leaves, get out of here with this. As some would say, what is this pixie dust that you're trying to peddle?
Yeah.
And
That's what I thought, because I never used scents my whole life, and I've always shot big, mature bucks my whole
Sure.
since I started bow hunting. I never believed in scents, period, until I learned about a pure glands and was more researching about deer and how they communicated, because that's what I mainly wanted to learn back in my younger days, more than now, where it's more about the
Right.
CWD stuff and all that.
I was so skeptical in that, but I'm like, I'll give it a shot in that. And when I put it out, Jason, like you saw, I showed him the trail camera picture. See, put it out. He's like, you're not wearing rubber boots in that.
Well, that's when I was a scent lock guy.
You are, and I'm like, no, but I'm wearing stuff. The shoes I always wear out, checking cameras. I mean, again, this was some years
I
ago.
think you had tennis shoes on or something that day.
Yeah, but they're the same shoes I always wear out there that I keep in a tote.
I'm like,
Now,
who
granted,
goes out to the woods in tennis shoes when they're setting up a deer stand or a deer area? But
This guy.
he does.
No, I'm not wearing freaking rubber boots. No.
I do in the
Not in the
summer.
summertime,
It don't
man,
matter.
no. It's too hot for that bull. Ask Mike Thalen sometime what he's seen me wear out there. I've been out there just in nothing in my boxer briefs and a pair of tennis shoes on a 90-degree sweltering hot Wisconsin summer, setting up trail cameras. You better believe it, buddy boy.
See, that's why I use Tacticams with solar panels. I don't ever have to go bother with that anymore.
I've lost
I
my
love
pants
it.
out there already. I'm like, it's too damn hot.
Thank you for that.
But no, seriously. So like again, they're still out there and they're still getting hit. Now, so I should go out there every week, right, and spray some more, right?
No,
What?
personally, I never go back out and really refresh mine too often. Sometimes I'll redo the pre-orbital and the interdigital, but rarely do I ever if they're getting hit on a lot. If I'm not seeing the action that I want, then I refresh it. But God, in some areas
So you're
I've
saying
never
I don't have to
refreshed
buy-
them.
I don't have to buy every
No,
6
this
months.
should
I don't
last.
have to get you. I don't have to get more every 6 months.
No, it will never go bad because there's no chemicals in it, for one thing. And you use such a little bit because deer aren't soaking that down with their glands. So why would you soak it down?
Sure.
You know what I mean? They leave very little behind.
But the reason why you wouldn't refresh it if it's getting hit is because now
There's
that's
no
data.
right. It's collecting
just
every other
going
deer
to-
stuff.
Right.
Yeah,
Exactly
this
what you
is-
just put on there is exactly what they're putting on there.
Which
and trust me,
is-
deer know the difference between a synthetic chemical and these glands because I've tested it against all the. I won't say the names of them all, but I have tested against them
Sure.
all, and our product is the only one that works year round.
Oh, and that makes perfect sense, right? I mean,
because you're using a real product that they know. Deer aren't
Exactly.
stupid; they know the difference. A lot of them other products work as a curiosity thing. They want to know what that new scent is,
Sure.
but it's not something they're working or using year round.
and I think anybody that has hunted deer,
Right, they
to
all,
any level,
we
they
hear it
know
nonstop from
how
people
smart
that
they
use
are.
all the other products. We heard it all weekend, and
right?
and the difference between this product and what they were using. We met a lot of guys that did the side by side thing, like I did. With we won't say names, but
Right.
said they had no action at all on that, and they were going all right to the bucks. So,
I mean,
so that's the only reason why I bring it to the table. If I didn't believe in it, and I didn't, from my experience, know it worked, I wouldn't be at these shows or sitting here right now.
Mr. Dirtnap, we fully understand and believe you in that regard.
Right. Well, I always make that clear because a lot of people get
Right.
paid or they go on pro staff teams just for the attention. Me, I'm that kind of person. I don't care about
Right.
the attention or any of that.
You're
But I
doing it
wanna-
because you believe in it.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, which is everything.
Right.
Well, and honestly, for us, like the proof was in the pudding. I had my reservations, and there was some other reasons why I wasn't fully sold. But then, when you have the pictures constant, and you get the videos, and it's there right in front of you, it's kind of hard not to get on board with it. With all the improvements, that's when I really became sold on it, and I became even a bigger follower and fan of the product over the last couple of years here. Now it's like, wow, like everything about the company, and this is no disrespect to Chris or anything, but it's just everything just seems really dialed in and on point.
Yeah, we changed everything to a higher level, make it more,
Yeah, everything just makes sense about it. And I get anybody that's skeptical, and again, this is, pixie dust and that, and
sure.
it's just the latest gimmick. And, and if you're a mobile hunter and hunting public land, this might not be for you. But here's one of the things.
but actually a lot of public land hunters love this because they can
Sure,
leave it out there.
right. I guess it depends on the area, because that was a question that was brought up. Depends on what state and what your regulations and stuff. And we would ask that you make sure you do your own homework and research on that kind of stuff. We're not your authority on.
But
on
these
any
are
of that kind of
DNR approved in states that are
you're right, as far as the
where scents are illegal to use, but these have been approved because it is a natural product.
Exactly.
I think that's an important note.
Absolutely. It for sure is.
And I do get a lot of public land hunters that tell me they put them right back in the tubes at their end of their hunts because them are the guys that are telling me they're seeing deer within an hour or two of having it out there, which is pretty amazing to me,
right,
you know.
Absolutely.
So some of the hunters I spoke to this last weekend here at the show, one of the selling points I felt like that I used was the fact that, let's say you have a property. Maybe it's a property you lease, and you're limited on what you can do on this property.
Right.
Maybe the landowner, maybe you just have permission on the land, and the landowner, it's like, no, I don't want you putting in food plots. I don't want you to put a water hole in or anything like that.
Right.
All different things that can be used in conjunction with this. But maybe you're very limited on what you can do. You're not allowed to bait in your state or your county or wherever you're at, right?
Yep.
The use of mineral and things are prohibited. And you're like, I need to find a way for deer to be on my property and communicating in that. Well, this isn't going to necessarily lock them into only staying on your property, but it's a reason for them to come to your property.
Right.
And to maybe help you hold the deer a little bit more, especially if you're using more than one. I would recommend using more than one. I mean, start out with one, start out with two. We talk to guys at the show that are using 8.
Right. We got like a lot of big hunting ranches are using them now because baiting's getting illegal. And, the one in Illinois just got a lot of trouble for that. So
exactly,
they're switching all the buck sticks now. And I mean, they work no matter where you put them.
Absolutely.
I have them at senior homes so they can watch out the window.
Oh, that's a great idea, actually.
Yeah, because it's entertaining.
No,
Yeah.
Luke, if you wouldn't mind just bringing up some more pictures, you're going to see here that, like, these aren't like, well, they're only hitting at nighttime. No, they're hitting it.
If you follow I just posted a whole bunch of pictures where the bucks are still rubbing on the ground by it and still hitting the branch and the stick all in one.
Yeah, just scroll through a few of those.
I didn't get to put them on this video yet because they're all this year.
So, this is a great way for you to try to attract deer to your property and like I said, not necessarily hold them, but they're going to have a reason to want to frequent your property, much like anything else you do. And like I said before, in conjunction with other things as well. So I'm not trying to say, well, if you have a food plot, you don't need this. You got water holes in your property, you have a water source in your property, you don't need this. I mean, there's a lot of guys that are putting this out in the middle of a food plot on the edges of their food plot where, in the staging areas where they know deer are staging prior to getting out of their plots. That's a great spot for it.
That's smart.
What are deer doing so often, the bucks especially, before they hit those food plots? The other thing is, talking to hunters this weekend, they're like, so I put this out maybe beginning of October? No. You buy it this weekend. Next time you get on your property, if that's tomorrow, that's next week. You get that out there now.
Right.
In fact, the sooner the better, because
mine are out year round all the time.
It's not like it's going to fade out when the rut comes on or even when hunting season. You could maybe refresh it if you wanted to.
But actually, we have does that will pee on them, wipe their rear ends on them during the rut, and then you'll see bucks sleeping by it. We got tons of videos and pictures of bucks sleeping by them. I actually have one sleeping by it, and then another buck comes up and attacks it as it's on the ground, right next to the buck stick, and then it goes over and starts rubbing the buck.
That one video where the buck, he goes and hits, and then he goes over there.
Yep.
And he starts pawing at the ground and he runs at it.
I just got him this afternoon at noon. Exactly. Again, I just posted them videos. So it just proves it works year round, no matter what the weather. I was showing people during the blizzard or a little snowstorm that we had.
So, Jason, raccoons must just destroy these, huh?
No, I haven't had that issue at all, but sometimes you'll get them playing with it As you see, I posted them pictures where they're bending it down on the ground, 2 of them.
Elijah commented it as well.
Yeah.
Said that he's had a ton of raccoons hanging on it, and it's pretty funny to watch.
Yeah.
Look, do we have any other comments you want to pop up there real quick?
Yeah, if there's
we
any
can get caught up
questions.
on that. Leon Jenkins.
Oh, Leon. Leon's
He's got hundreds of pictures of deer using the old buckstick there.
Yep, he shot his big one off it.
Leon's part of the Buckstick staff or pro staff and that, and he was at the show this weekend, and he had his
Lowdown reader.
reader.
Yep.
And then when people were coming up and asking questions and stuff, like, because at times we were so busy, talking to multiple people, Leon's over there and be like, here, check out all these pictures. He's just scrolling through, like, look at this, look at this, look at this. He's just
all hitting it.
Yeah, just what he has, and that's his.
Right. Just his. It's not like a brag book of Buckstick. It's his brag book of Buckstick.
It's his personal, exactly.
Right. We get a lot of that, guys who have this years worth of footage.
Well, you were saying that you had guys helping you sell the product just by coming by to say, hey, thanks for getting me turned on to this, and
yeah. Well, they wanted to tell their story.
Right, exactly.
They're like, oh, let me.
Which how cool is that?
Yeah, that was especially that one guy.
Yeah. What else you got there, Luke?
We got Jeff Morgan. I put them in all of my food plots. My food plots are 8 more around the stick than anywhere else.
That makes sense.
Yes, and he's posted a lot of pictures and videos. So
Has he?
Yeah, he gets a lot of action. So his are always out in the middle. And my friend Ronnie who hunts in Galena, Illinois, they put him out in the middle, and he was showing me like 160, 180 class bucks out in the middle of the food plot on it.
Sure.
So kind of works no matter where you stick it.
Yeah, I mean,
That's what she said.
Yeah, that's what she said.
So that being said, what really has piqued my curiosity, because you damn near have me sold.
Well, I didn't even say the sales pitch yet. I left that part out.
What's
kid, yeah.
what's the price point on one of these?
Well, Amazon and online are $100. It comes to about $100 with shipping, said and done. But we have specials going all the time. Like this weekend, we ran a special $80, and it comes with the gland kit and everything, and free shipping. And so I guess you just got to join buckstick.com, and get on our, mailing list, and
right. Well, and follow the social media sites.
right to social media and watch for that. But other than that, their price point at, we barely make any profit on each stick.
Well,
because we're doing it more for the pride of it.
So if you're saying that something like this, $100, and based off of just the amount of testimonials, not only here, or from what you're saying, it seems like it's pretty damn well worth it. Right?
Oh,
Every
yeah,
penny.
for sure. Every penny, for sure. It lasts. It can last forever.
That's the thing.
As long as you don't have a bear or something come and just shred it to the ground. But other than that, we have never had a problem or a complaint really about the price point.
All right.
Only because it is the only product out there that is real glands. And them glands alone sell for $50. So for another,
Oh, geez.
yeah, whatever our special is, whether or normal, you're getting to stick with it for another $30, $40.
All right, here's another question, and it's a very serious one, and I want a real answer. If Bigfoot comes and destroys my buckstick, and I have video proof that it was Bigfoot that did it, will you guys, will Buckstick 100% replace my Buckstick?
Oh, 100%. But we want that video. Or
Just Sam
sure.
Squatch only, or
I never thought of that. I should have somebody with a costume go up to it.
Bigfoot's just rubbing his forehead.
Yeah, it would be funny.
Peeing on the ground.
Well, I had that bear come up to my buck bind
sure.
this year, and he rubbed a little bit, and then he moved on. He didn't even touch
Sure.
it. Just put his little gland on it, and he was gone.
No, to be honest, I mean, like, this is actually, I'm really excited about our partnership as having Buckstick as one of our show partners here. Because, like I said, I had been using it for years. Still have the original ones out there, as beat up as they are. And I shouldn't say beat up, like they lost leaves. And these you're not getting out. I mean, they'd actually have to tear the leaves.
Right.
Well,
get them
that's
out.
why I tell people not to spray the preorbital on the leaves
Right.
because the younger deer that can't reach the top, they get, as you see how many videos we got where they're on their hind legs. It seems like, so sometimes they'll just clamp onto that chunk of leaves and to pull that thing down to the
Right.
ground.
Want to just tear it up. Yeah.
Yeah.
But honestly, like I'm really excited to get more of these out on our hunting leases and stuff. And
I guess, like I said, I've had great success on them.
So again, this is the buckstik.
Yep.
Right over here, over Jason's head, is the buck branch. Now, again, that screws into the tree here, just like so.
I like
you can
that.
do it at an angle here,
We have them specially
Straight in.
made
and then it pops right in. I mean, this is
Yeah, let me see that.
by a
solid heavy duty.
machinist,
And then we have the buck vine
which
that
is
also would
new.
mount into that.
legit.
This is the newest.
But you can also take your buck stick apart and make it a buck branch.
Sure.
Oh,
So
yeah,
people like to
absolutely.
get it all coated up and then they transform it into a buck branch. Everybody does different things with them. And
And this material, I mean, I know it's like a
Yeah,
kind of a
that is
rubbery
awesome.
material, but it's so rough. I mean, it's going to grab.
it's a rough, rubbery, it
There's
collects
so many
a lot.
little tiny surfaces on here with how textured it is.
Yeah, that's
For
amazing.
all the
right
spots
there.
for gland and that to stick to, and even fur and stuff, and the hair.
I'm
very,
looking
very
forward
cool.
to getting way more out on like up by Adam and stuff like that. And it's just a wonderful product.
Luke, do we got any other?
Luke Orman said it makes a great Easter gift.
It sure does.
Luke Ortman, you would be punctilious in assuming that.
We might have to put a Easter special out. I'll have to talk to Jim about that
That would be-
There you go.
for the weekend.
Well, yeah. We'll have to do an Easter code.
Yeah, just might have to. Jim, you heard that?
Buckstick has risen.
Yeah. Oh,
That's a
wow.
little blasphemous.
That's a little too much.
All right. Well, Jason, I really appreciate you making the trip up here. I know it's a little bit of a haul up here, although you do make it up here quite frequently, but to make it up here on a Thursday night and stuff.
Right. Deliver a lot of jobs up here every week. So
Yeah, and hopefully I'll see you this weekend with my order. For those of you guys that don't know, in addition
gonna
to
say.
him doing all, the things for Buckstick and Dirt Nap and things like that, Jason also has a printing company too.
full promotional company. Yeah.
Yeah.
Printing, embroidery, so on.
Go ahead, give us a little spiel real quick on your company. And believe me, I'd venture to guess that there is a large number of you out there that own garments that were printed or made by this guy right here, because he's done a lot.
Oh, yeah.
In 38
company
years. 38 years worth, but
Yeah, a lot.
And not to mention my favorite hoodie of all
I
time.
mean, what I'm wearing, what you're wearing,
The hat.
your hat. This
I actually
hat.
did my whole display
hat.
for Buckstick 3 days before the show.
Right.
The whole thing from the tablecloth to the backdrop to everything.
Right. And if you guys check out on our social media, if you haven't seen them yet, I mean, the booth looked pretty stellar. But go ahead. So it's the Branding Hunter.
Yep. I call my company the Branding Hunter because
That's what you do.
that's what I do.
You are the
Hunt
Branding
and I
Hunter.
sell and promote. So yeah, I'm a full print screen printing
38
in-house
years of
company.
experience.
Been doing it for 38 years now. Embroidery. We do promotional items. You name it, we can put a logo on it.
Printing, embroidery, promotional,
Engraving.
engrave. What
We
about
do now.
What about vinyl stickers? and-
Yes, we do vinyl. We do it all.
Yeah.
Banners, signs, wraps.
Do you have a
well, we're kind
catalog?
of getting out of the wrap scene though a little bit.
Yeah.
But
Now, if somebody wanted to hit you up for any one of those things, how would they reach you?
well, there's Facebook page
The
and
Branding Hunter.
the Branding Hunter, or you can just call me at 262.
Do you want to put it up?
Well, not really. You can just look up the Branding Hunter, Google it.
Yeah, the Branding Hunter. I mean, you got a Facebook page, you got an Instagram page, and that. Feel free to reach out to me.
Yeah, you can reach out to a lot of companies in that industry.
There's almost not a week that goes by that him and I aren't on the phone.
Yep.
And that and those conversations are never less than an hour, almost. At least an hour on the phone.
Oh, for sure.
So yeah, hit them up. And then guys, buckstik.com. Check out the website. There's so many more pictures and videos for you guys to check out. The proof is in the pudding. I mean, when you look at, and this isn't just a loop of the same, dozen pictures and dozen videos. There is so much.
Thousands. I get 1,000 a week.
Buckstik has like the Buckstik Nation page as well for users of it. In that, you can check that out, and that's a great place if you already are using it or you're going to use it. Join Buckstik Nation. And then you can share up all your pictures and stuff on there as well. I mean, it's just a plethora. I mean, you can't watch that even promotional video and just be like, yeah, this isn't a gimmick. Like, this is the real deal.
Yeah.
Right. It shows, I tried to put all year-round photos in there. Now update it with this year's photos. I mean, I'm already getting them from January then to now. As I sit here, my phone's going off right now.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's a real product. It's the real deal. That's all I tell people. I mean, it's worth every penny, and a couple state records, I do believe, got taken off it, or they're still in the scoring matter. And it's just 100% great feedback.
The $3 that you guys see in the promo that I've had,
I shot my big velvet buck on the buckstik, or the buck branch. Sorry.
Yeah.
So,
but all right, guys. Jason, I really appreciate you joining us here tonight.
Thanks for having me.
Anything else?
No, we're just excited for our partnership with Buckstik, and looking forward to getting a few more of these on the property.
I can't wait to see you shoot one this year on it.
I'd say not as much as this guy, but anyhow.
But yeah, guys, we got we're going to be doing several shows here. We had a couple week hiatus there because we wanted to do a show last Thursday. And then we thought, actually, during our last show when we had Mike Hackett and Matt Hazel on, which again, those guys were great guests. Super appreciate those guys for making the trip up here. We had a lot of fun on that show. But I announced that we were going to do a show last week, Wednesday, because we were going. Well, the week got too intense with getting all of our stuff together to do the show in the Dells last weekend. We had to postpone it till this week.
Right.
So we're going to have a show next week.
Next week, Thursday.
We're going to get back into some fishing stuff here. What'd you say?
I guess what?
Well, when are we going to talk turkey?
Yeah, for the love of Christ.
Yeah, I was going to say.
We didn't even
I
get
got
to talk
3
turkey
tags
tonight.
this year. I'm ready to rock it.
I hate it here.
I can't wait to let that shred head fly this year again.
The week after that, we'll probably get into some turkey.
Not.com.
We're going to be leaving the next morning.
Yep, that's right.
To go up turkey hunting.
Oh my God, I can't wait.
We
Me
also
too.
have some of our other.
You guys use shotguns, though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You got to use a bow.
My shoulders, man, are
Oh,
shot.
I have
Shot.
pins and bolts in my shoulders
Me too.
from a motorcycle
can't
accident
do
when
it.
I was young, and
Can't do it.
you only had to pull that bow back one time.
I can't do it one time, though, Jason. That's the point.
Well, they do make them crossbows. But that's for guys who are injured.
Yeah, I know.
Absolutely. We have a lot of great guests coming out.
Yes.
We're going to have some of our other show partners coming on the show. I'm not going to name any names just yet because we got some other big names that are going to be coming on here in the very near future that you guys are going to be excited about. At least I hope you guys are going to be excited about. I'm excited about it.
Uncle.
You're going to be excited about it. But anyways, we'll keep following the pages. If you guys haven't yet, please like, subscribe, hit us up on Instagram, hit us up on YouTube. We're really trying to get the YouTube thing going. We're trying to do all of our live streams there. Be really appreciative. You guys are all great. Everybody who's been following us and stuff over the years. We're going to have our 5-year anniversary party here probably next week, Thursday, with our next guest. And yeah, until next time.
Always outdoors.